The state of the village of Pinecrest is undaunted. It would be an understatement to say that the past 2 years have been difficult. It's no different in local government. In March of 2020, Pinecrest began to focus on how to address our most basic needs in a completely new manner, and we did so for several months. As 2021 dawned, there was optimism that we'd made it through the worst of the pandemic, and by spring or summer, we'd be back to normal. It wasn't. In Pinecrest, we've always had the ability to adapt and change. We've proven repeatedly that we can get knocked down, get up, and move forward. We've shown that we can address major issues by having difficult but collegial conversations and make the best decisions possible for all of us as a community. This year, change came to our police force. We welcomed our new police chief, Jason Cohen. He may be our new chief, but he's not new to Pinecrest. Chief Cohen began his career here in the Pinecrest Police Department in 1998 as a patrol officer, and he is the first village police chief to rise through the ranks of our department. The net result? Crime is down again, at another all-time low. This year's crime statistics show that crime is down 18% from its previous all-time low just a couple of years ago, and 66% below the first year we had our police department. So we know crime is cyclical, it moves from place to place, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, but what makes it go down consistently over the years since our incorporation? That's the Pinecrest Police Department. This is one of the few law enforcement agencies in the state of Florida that's triple accredited. We have a nationally recognized elite police force which always delivers. When called, they'll be at your door in an instant, prepared with the skill to handle any situation. Who would have ever thought that the village would be essentially running a medical clinic out of one of our parks, almost in perpetuity? In 2021, we constantly informed the community about the latest COVID safety information and made sure to provide local resources. Our testing and vaccination facility is still up and running at Sunnyland Park. We've given more than 10,000 vaccine doses out and more than 75,000 tests. When we incorporated 26 years ago, the area was beautiful but severely lacking in the basic infrastructure that is key to our quality of life. Back then, we had a lot of overhead electrical service on rotten wooden poles that would leave us without electricity for weeks should a storm come. We drank from water wells, which were conveniently placed next to our neighbors' septic systems. And for many of us, when the electricity went out, the water went out. This year, after 2.5 decades of effort, we were able to fund the completion of our water system. Now, everyone in Pinecrest will have access to clean drinking water. We continue working with FP&L to assure the electrical distribution system is hardened. In Pinecrest, much of that means undergrounding the overhead wires. At least $20 million worth of undergrounding is occurring, with more anticipated. And we really need to thank FP&L for being such wonderful partners in helping us achieve that vision. We're also working with Miami-Dade County on the conversion of our septic systems to sewer systems. Our park system has been lauded as one of the best, but you cannot let it sit for a quarter of a century. It must be constantly polished to maintain its luster. We've commissioned a village-wide parks master plan and will begin its implementation in 2022. We've acquired what we call the Palermo property. That's the property at the corner of 88th Street and 67th Avenue, and it's going to be named Gary Matzner Park in honor of one of our two founders, Gary Matzner. He was our second mayor. We completed the Sunnyland Park improvement project, relit the fields with LED lights, and completed the Flagler Grove artificial turf installation. And we actually began the development of a Hidden Pines Park, where we repurposed an undedicated road right-of-way into a neighborhood pineland preserve. We did this in partnership with Steve Pearson of Tremendous Miami. You know, in the old days, people could get out and walk their dogs or ride a bike. The kids could get on a bike and ride for hours and come back home and they were safe and sound. And so to maintain that character, what we're doing is inserting a skeleton of bicycle trails and shared use paths. We're working on two right now. One in partnership with Miami-Dade County and Palmetto Bay at 136th Street. The second one is the Kendall Drive shared use path. That'll be completed by the village this year in 2022. And what that'll do is link the northern and southern boundaries of the village with the Red Road path on the east side of town and the Metro Road path on the west side of town. And when you get on those two paths, you can really get to anywhere in Miami-Dade County. We've secured another $500,000 grant to fund stormwater improvements from the Florida legislature. Special thanks to Senator Ileana Garcia, who's been a tireless advocate on behalf of Pinecrest. She's worked with us on a weekly basis to get things done. Our state representative, Vance Lupus, has also been extremely supportive. As if the trees, the low crime rate, stable electricity, and great bike paths were not noticeable enough, we're creating a new monument sign system to let you know more directly you've entered Pinecrest. Change is always difficult. It took vision and courage to purchase the historic Parrot Jungle property way back in 2002. Today, named Pinecrest Gardens, it's our cultural arts park. Parrot Jungle was the local tourist attraction established way back in the 1930s. This holiday season, we saw the installation of the Bruce Monroe art exhibit in conjunction with Art Basel at Pinecrest Gardens. We created the Friends of Pinecrest Gardens nonprofit foundation to support the activities of the facility. We'll soon be cutting the ribbon on the Upper Gardens project, the final stage of our Pinecrest Gardens master plan. This is going to feature one of the most inclusive playgrounds in the area and a world-class petting zoo. This year, we reignited our in-person jazz concert series. Among the nation's best performers, this series also features COVID-sniffing beagles. At the last briefing they gave me, the manager wasn't sure they found anything yet, but we've decided to keep them because they're so cute. Our Human Resources Department has each of our 185 employees up and running, whether they're working at home, in the office, or in the field. The wheels of government has not stopped turning thanks to their hard work. The village continues to maintain a AAA bond rating and has received another award for its budgeting processes. We thought the housing and real estate market might have slowed down during the pandemic, but it didn't. It's moving faster than ever in Pinecrest. The building department has processed 3,300 permits, conducted 17,000 inspections on about $120 million worth of construction value. Who would have imagined this? Remember in 1996, Pinecrest was typified by large lots, often smaller homes on them. When we put together our first comprehensive plan and land development code regulations, it was hard to envision what would come. Soon, property values began to explode. Today, nearly all of those smaller homes have been replaced with ones that are much larger. We worked hard to assure that we could maintain the visual character of the community, so each year we diligently review our land development code in order to keep it consistent with state-of-the-art industry practices. Not only have the bulk of the single-family homes been redeveloped, nearly all of our institutions have been as well. So we need to set a vision for our US 1 corridor, and we're doing that by reinstituting our US 1 vision plan, which was started in 2012. A healthy Miami-Dade County is a healthy Pinecrest. And the rapid transit system that they're placing along the US 1 busway on the US 1 corridor it's taken decades to get to this point. It's a $300 million investment in rapid transit. $100 million from Miami-Dade County, which is our tax dollars as well, $100 million from the state and $100 million from the federal government. Things change, time moves forward. Sometimes it hurts more than other times. Over the past 2 years, all of us have become all too familiar with this personal pain through the loss of a loved one or a close friend. In October of last year, Guido Nguanzo Jr., our first employee and village clerk, lost his brief and unexpected battle with cancer at the age of 54. Guido was Pinecrest. He was made for this job. He was an historian who documented everything about our village. He was a wonderful husband, father, son, and brother. When asked, he'd recall anything that happened to the village of Pinecrest over the last quarter of a century. He was integral to so many of the events that Pinecrest celebrated over the years. Guido was a dedicated public servant and the consummate professional. He did his job expertly and made our jobs as representatives of the community extremely easy. Our Pinecrest staff is the best in the business, and he helped set the standard for everyone, delivering a concierge level of customer service. More than anything else, Guido was a great person, kind, caring, and empathetic. He thought of others first. No family can ever be prepared for these moments. But as always in Pinecrest, we're here to support each other, to grieve together, and to heal together again. We have always treated each other well. We have the responsibility to ourselves and our neighbors to treat each other with respect, empathy, and consideration. Pinecrest and good government does not happen by accident. To Yossi Galliano, Mitch Bierman, Guido Nguanzo, Priscilla Torres, who's our new clerk, and all our department heads and staff, thank you. This remains, without question, the most difficult of times to be a public servant. In 2022, we will press on. In the face of challenge or change, there's a tendency to become frustrated. Another hallmark of Pinecrest is that we can handle this great change with grace. On any topic, large or small, we can provide a concierge level of service where anyone who has an issue can be given immediate individual attention. We strive to listen, understand, and come up with the most efficient path to success. We explore the issues deeply, develop a common set of facts, debate them vigorously, and listen until everyone has had their say. Then we make our decision as one community. Our council collectively and individually is first rate. Vice Mayor Katie Abbott, council members Doug Kraft, Anna Hokemer, Shannon Del Prado are excellent. They do a remarkable job communicating, responding to the community's needs almost instantaneously. At all times, they work tirelessly to explore the issues and build consensus for how we move forward. Working together makes a challenging and difficult job very enjoyable. Thank you to every citizen of Pinecrest. I know we could have never imagined what we would have in store for us. Yet we've continued to do what we've needed to do. Just as life goes on, so does government. Pinecrest remains undaunted and resolved as we eagerly look forward to the future.